Hi everybody, let's talk about resumes for a minute. Okay, now you can Google how to write a resume and you're going to get a zillion different tips and points about how to write an effective resume, and that's great. And most of the information that you get, and I strongly urge you to do that, most of the information that you get is going to make some sense. But I want to tell you from the car world, what we car people look at when we look at resumes. And of course everyone's different, and this is our opinion, but we've looked at literally a million resumes. So let's go over some of these points, and it's real basic stuff, but I think it's very, very important. Does your resume make sense? Let's start there. I've looked at resumes and they absolutely make no sense to me at all. I can't tell what in the world that they've done for a living. It's a bunch of jargon, if you will, based on their previous work experience. Now, in the car business, we have our own jargon. And if you've been in the car business, I would strongly urge you to stay away from that jargon, even if you're going to be answering an ad or interviewing for a position in the car dealership. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. So when you look over your resume, does it make sense? Is it easy to read? Is it easy on the reader's eyes? Could your 10 or 12 or 15-year-old read it and understand what in the world you've done in your past? I think it's very important. Would your resume impress you? Really take a look at it. You're going to be handing that resume to another human being. Would it be impressive to them, or is it boring? Now, maybe you have very little work experience, and that's okay, because I'm going to go into a little bit on what you can use as filler and that you can use to build that resume if you allow me to put it in those terms. But would that resume, the way that it's written, the way that it looks, would that resume impress you if you were the person doing the hiring? Take a look at it from that vein. Misspell a word, use lousy grammar in your resume, and typically you're done. You just are. So, use spell check, look it over, have somebody proof it before you send it or before you walk into a dealership with that resume. Have somebody look it over. There's nothing worse than, N-O instead of K-N-O-W or to when it should be T-O when it should be T-O-O, or on and on and on and on. Just have somebody proof your resume for you. Put a second or third set of eyeballs on that resume before you go ahead and use it. It's very important that when they call, when the interviewer or someone from the HR department from the dealership calls the places that you work that you've put on your resumes, do all those dates line up? Now, I know for a fact that I've looked at resumes and, wow, it's like, it's in perfect order. Like in March, he or she left here, and then in March, they started here, and then 2 years later, they left there in June and started somewhere else in June. Sometimes I have a little hard time believing that that's the actual case. Well, yeah, but Craig, I don't want to leave employment gaps in my resume. If you don't want to leave employment gaps in your resume, then what that means is you're lying to your future employer. We all have gaps in our work. There's typically good reasons for those gaps. Put the reason in there. Don't lie about the time sequence of your work history. It's not going to work. They're going to catch you in the lie, and there's no way you're going to get out of that lie. Well, I just wanted to make my resume look good. Baloney, you're out. Okay, it's very, very important. It's funny, in our business, people ask us for references, and we'll say, well, do you want a good one or a bad one? It is as a joke. Who's going to give somebody as a bad reference? You'd be surprised the number of people that we've called over the last nearly 15 years in doing what we've been doing in automotive recruitment, and we call somebody that someone's given us a reference, and they'll say, I can't believe he or she used me as a reference. make sure that the people that you're going to be putting down, whether it's a business reference or it's a personal reference, that A, those people know that you're using them as a reference, and that so they're prepared when that phone call, email, or letter comes to them, and that they can respond appropriately in a positive manner towards you. So, you know, those references are important. Make sure that the people are aware of it and that you're going to get a good reference. I mean, sounds like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how often that doesn't happen that way. You know, you got to be honest, obviously, on your resume. What you put there has got to be the truth, but you also have to show yourself in a good light. Brag about yourself. I mean, this is you. This is you selling a future employer based on words. So make it bold. And I'm going to get to it a little bit further down the line here, but you want to paint a picture or tell a story with that resume that really shows you in a great light. So brag on yourself. You know, don't embellish. Tell the truth. You want to be honest, but let's tell them something that you're great at. You know, I'm great at this. I excel at this, or I'm the best at that. Whatever the case might be, go ahead and use it. That's going to jump off the page to me. She's really, really strong in this area based on what I've read. List every single thing that you've accomplished in your life. I don't care what it is. You were in 4-H, you were in a Girl Scouts, you did this, you did that, you were president of the Key Club in high school, on and on and on and on. Awards and accomplishments, awards and accomplishments. I don't care what, a good friend of mine's daughter is a black belt in martial arts. You know, what does that mean on a resume? Well, I'll tell you what it reads to me is someone that's taken over a long period of time, has worked very, very hard, and that person is now disciplined, knows how to follow instructions, can take care of themselves, obviously, and has completed a very hard task. So my point is this. By listing every single, if you think it's goofy, it doesn't matter. Put it in there. You have no idea what's going to trip the trigger of the person that's going to be reading that resume or ultimately interviewing you. They may have been a Girl Scout. They may have been in Key Club. They may have been in martial arts. Whatever the case might be, you don't know. So put it in there. Build your resume that way. If you're just starting out in your new career, that's going to be especially important to you. But I don't care if you've been doing something for 20 or 30 years. Include those things. It's very important. You have no idea what's going to jump off that page to that future employer that's going to help you get that position that you're looking for. 1 page period. I get resumes that are 3 pages long, man, and it's just, I'm not reading them. I'm just not. Now, that might just be me, but I'm just not reading them. You can put everything that you need to have on 1 page. Do it. It's important. Okay, don't send a 5-page resume. You know, you're not writing a book here. If you want to write a book, get a publisher. It's a whole different deal. This is a resume. 1 page. Take a look at it. Bang. There's all the information. They make a call to interview you or not. I get resumes with cover letters that have absolutely nothing to do. Let me give you an example. When we hire a recruiter trainer, we'll get a cover letter saying, yes, I'm looking for a management position that most suits my acumen as a used car manager in the field, and they're applying for a trainer position. Their cover letter or their opening paragraph, their summary, has absolutely nothing to do with the job that they're actually applying for with my company. It's like, well, what do you think I do with that resume? I mean, how can I possibly seriously even consider this person when they haven't taken a minute to, in a Word doc, give me a new cover letter, right? Hey, I really want to be a whatever with your company. And my resume, and you'll see with my following work history, that I'm a great hire for your dealership in that position. Make it specific to that position. Just don't blast that resume to every job with the same cover sheet. It just, I mean, hopefully that makes sense to you. It certainly should. If you don't make it specific to the position that you're applying for, that resume is going to the bottom. You can bet me. And just to finish up here again, I hope you understand what I'm saying when I say paint a picture of yourself. Don't just put a bunch of words there, paragraphs, and I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. Tell a story. Paint a picture for the person that's holding that piece of paper in their hand or looking at it on their computer. Paint a picture for them using words. We're all not writers, I understand that, but think your way through this thing. By using words, tell a story based on your work history that someone can read, and then it becomes compelling to them, where they go, wow, this is somebody that I really want to talk to about working here at ABC Motors. So hopefully that's helped you a little bit with what to do with your resume. Good luck.